I have a very different video than every video I've pretty much made on the channel up until this point, but definitely these are the types of videos I definitely want to incorporate onto this channel. I want to do more like season-long NFL fantasy content because that's actually one of my passions, something I really enjoy doing and something that I just find extremely fun. So I wanted to make a video today of 3 fantasy football sleepers for this season. And when I say sleepers, like these aren't super deep sleepers. This is like max 12 team league sleepers, but players that I think are just going, you can get later in rounds and that can provide you, top 5, 6, 4, even 4, top 4 round value. So again, I wanted to just preface, I'm not a fantasy expert or anything like that, but I mean, if you take a look at any other video I've made on this channel, I do normally DFS, football DFS, NBA DFS, baseball DFS, but wanted to definitely incorporate these types of videos on this channel. So let me know in the comments below though if you guys do like it. Also drop a like on this video and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I do drop daily content on this channel, and like I said, definitely trying to incorporate more types of videos like this onto the channel. So, and again, this format's gonna kind of be all over the place because again, first time I'm making this type of video, so not really sure how I want to do it, but I want to give 3 fantasy football sleepers, quote unquote sleepers, that I like for this season that are going, I think, undervalued. So the first one is going to be a player that is ranked according to NFL Fantasy as the 43rd ranked wide receiver. Is Christian Kirk. Now, Christian Kirk signed that massive contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars over the offseason, and he kind of set the tone for the entire wide receiver market, in my opinion. But he's going to be the #1 target in this offense, right? And new head coach Doug Peterson, they want to throw the ball. They want to show and use Trevor Lawrence like the #1 pick that he was. But take this little excerpt here, and it really speaks volumes to me, in my opinion. So again, there's just been nothing but positive news coming out of camp for Christian Kirk, and they recently, actually, as of today, they traded Laviska Shenault, right? So this news here that came out back on March 15th, they actually traded Laviska Shenault today. But take a look at this. So it's been nothing but praise for Kirk, who altered the free agency landscape with his flabbergasting 4-year, $72 million contract with Jacksonville this spring. And Trevor Lawrence is quoted in saying, the way he sees the field, the different coverages unfold, the way he runs his routes, I just think he's quarterback friendly. And then obviously his speed is something we really need. It's going to help us out a lot. And then again, this is the analysis from this website. Kirk should be the team's #1 wide receiver to start the year. Marvin Jones and Laviska Shenault profiling as secondary pass catchers, coming off a career season where he had 77 receptions for 982 yards. So I mean, a 982-yard season, 77 catches, pretty good in my opinion. In an offense that had, DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, had to feed James Conner, and then obviously Kyler Murray runs the ball quite a bit. I definitely think, already without trading Laviska Shenault and before even preseason started, there is appeal for Christian Kirk as a sleeper play. But take a look at this as well. This is just from last week. Christian Kirk was targeted in 36.3% of routes in the Jaguars preseason game against the Steelers. According to Pro Football Focus, he saw 8 targets on just 22 routes against Pittsburgh. He caught 5 of those targets for 54 yards. Throughout training camp, Kirk has served as Trevor Lawrence's primary target, working against both an intermediate pass catcher and a downfield threat. Lawrence this spring described Kirk, who signed a massive contract, as QB friendly with an ADP of wide receiver 41. Kirk could maybe a pleasant surprise for those seeking wide receiver value in the second half of drafts. Now again, in my opinion, I've done a few mock drafts, actually quite a bit of mock drafts already this season, and there is so much wide receiver value later in the drafts. I just think there's not a lot of top end running back value, ton of late end wide receiver value. So for me, and my strategy, in my opinion, for how I've been doing fantasy drafts and approaching them, is really just, loading up on those top elite RBs if I can get them, and then getting guys like Christian Kirk later in the rounds, where I do think they're going to provide at least wide receiver 2 value here this season, in my opinion. Love Christian Kirk here. Like I said, ranked the 43rd wide receiver NFL Fantasy. There's a few players. I'd take him over Devonta Smith. I'd probably take him over Elijah Moore. I'd probably take him over Kadarius Toney. Early in the season, I might take him over Drake London as well. There's extreme value here for Christian Kirk, so that's the first sleeper that I like. The next one is going to be a running back who, again, I don't know if I can call this guy a sleeper, but just he's going a little too late, in my opinion, is Elijah Mitchell. And just really quick, I would take Elijah Mitchell over all 3 of these guys, Dillon, Dobbins, Akers, and I'll take him over Montgomery, maybe Zeke, maybe Etienne, and even Breece Hall. All right, Breece Hall has not looked really that great in the preseason, but Elijah Mitchell is going to be the #1 running back. I don't know why there's confusion here. He's the #1 running back for the San Francisco 49ers, whoever's a running back for the San Francisco 49ers over like since Kyle Shanahan's become the coach, has just feasted, right? You can see here the second year back has deemed potential roster cut and is complimented to Mitchell, who seems to have a lock on the RB1 job. Now they're talking about Trey Sermon here, who's going to, I guess, be backing up Elijah Mitchell here. But you can see here, this appears to be the plan all along for the 49ers have rested Mitchell throughout training camp. Mitchell should be back in the number 1 back role for the 49ers to start the season. He's hovering around 65 ADP in most drafts after a 963-yard rookie season. Now, in my opinion, he won some fantasy championships last season, right? I mean, he pretty much was he was on the waiver. He's a waiver wire player. Came on, and he went absolutely crazy last year. You can see these games, 119, 133 in the tub, 66 in the tub, 137 in the tub, 107 in the tub, 104 in the tub. He played extremely well. And if you take a look at the 49ers, I mean, they are a top 6 team as far as rush attempts last season. If we sort this by rushing yards, Niners here, same thing, top 7 rushing yards. And just overall, their entire rushing offense does extremely well. I think, when Jeff Wilson's come in for Elijah Mitchell or, even JaMychal Hasty, both those guys put up productive fantasy numbers. So if Elijah Mitchell can stay healthy, and, he does have that number 1 spot locked up in that offense, I think, from where he's being ranked right now currently as a wide receiver, running back 23, we're talking about a guy that could easily be in the top 15, maybe even top 10 in my opinion. I think people are sleeping on him right now. I think he should be going top 15 in drafts. When I've been seeing him after in like round 4 or 5, I'm definitely taking all the shares I can of Elijah Mitchell this season. I love him, and I think he's extremely undervalued right now. Then the last one is going to be quarterback, and it's going to be a quarterback that, again, is ranked the number 15th quarterback and I think has top 10 value without question. It's going to be Kirk Cousins, you guys. So Kirk Cousins is, brand new head coach here in that offense for the Minnesota Vikings. The old Zimmer offense, kind of rush heavy, wasn't really pass heavy. And, Kirk Cousins last year, he had 35 touchdowns, I believe, last season. Yeah, 33 touchdowns, 4,200 yards, 7 interceptions. He had a really great year. 103.1 passer rating. I think Kirk Cousins, people just hate on Kirk Cousins for no reason. He had a really good season. I think he was a Pro Bowler, but this is an elite season for a quarterback. And now he's getting, Kevin O'Connell is his head coach. Pass heavy offense. You can see here Justin Jefferson already said under new head coach, this is back from June 3rd, the Vikings are moving away from old style offense the team used during Mike Zimmer era. It's 2022. You get a new age and move into a new generation. And I just think this is going to be a pass heavy offense. You can see here in a larger context of the post about Cousins to take a step forward. Both Graf and Hassan noted that they believe Cousins can crack 4,500 passing yards in 2022. Cousins' best output in his 4 years in Minnesota to date has been 40,298. Graf also believes Cousins could be in the ballpark of 40 touchdowns. If Cousins goes for 4,500 passing yards and 40 touchdowns, he would be on the QB1 line. Matt Stafford's bump last season. We're talking about Matt Stafford came to the Rams and, was considered a top 5 quarterback. He's always had the talent, but really everything came together under Kevin O'Connell. Obviously Sean McVay as well, but Kevin O'Connell turned Matt Stafford into a superstar, and I think he could do the same thing here with Kirk Cousins, in my opinion. I really, really do. And I think another strategy here is, if you're loading up and you want to, wait on a quarterback, Kirk Cousins could be your guy. He could be a top 10, budding, maybe even top 5 quarterback this season. We saw Matt Stafford be that last year. Love Kirk Cousins, and I think he's definitely a sleeper this fantasy season. So those are the 3 sleepers I have here, fantasy football. Again, this format's kind of all over the place. First video I've made on this channel similar like this. But let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about this. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and as always, have a great day.